Warriors, I'm steamed. Let me tell you what I'm steamed about. The New York Times came out with an article entitled Adults or Sexually Abused Minors? Question mark. Getting it right vexes Facebook. Let's talk about this, Warriors. This year, the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children just released a couple of weeks ago their report of the crimes submitted in the 1-year period, 2021, to their cyber tip line. Now, you know, the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children is home of the Amber Alert. It is where the bulk of images go, reports go. In a 1-year period, Warriors, let me calm down here because it's just too much to take in. Reported images, 29.3 million. This is an increase of 35% over 2020. Okay, so the New York Times comes out with this article. The company reports millions of photos and videos of suspected child abuse each year, but when ages are unclear, let me repeat, but when ages are unclear, young people are treated as adults and the images are not reported to the authorities. Now, let me tell you on that report that I just mentioned from the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children, of those 29.3 million that were reported to the cyber tip line, 22 million images came from Facebook. And Warriors, I think there are 50 different platforms on that report. 29.3 million total, 22 million images came from Facebook in a 1-year period. Now, I think you'll agree with me and say, there is a problem at Facebook. And yes, I'm calling it Facebook. I'm not calling it Meta, how they rebranded and renamed themselves. And Antigone Davis, and if you recall, Antigone Davis was the one that appeared a couple of months back. We had the congressional hearings on Capitol Hill, and she appeared as their safety expert to explain what's going on to our bipartisan panel of our elected officials, asking them, what about security? What about safety for kids? We're talking about kids here, okay? Although this does apply to everybody. And Antigone Davis, as quoted in this article with the New York Times, head of safety for Meta, but remember, Warriors, I'm still calling it Facebook. Facebook, by the way, same company as Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp, all related, okay? Antigone Davis, head of safety, confirmed the policy in an interview and said it stemmed from privacy concerns for those who post sexual imagery of adults. The sexual abuse of children online is abhorrent, Ms. Davis said, emphasizing that Meta employs a multi-layered, rigorous review process that flags far more images than any other tech company. She said the consequences of erroneously flagging child sexual abuse could be life-changing for users. Well, you know what we're seeing, Warriors? We're seeing a whole population, our children, not being protected. And this is outrageous. And also the title of this article, Adults or Sexually Abused Minors, Getting It Right Vexes. Do you know what vexes means? Vexes is like trivial, minor annoyance. Vexes Facebook? I'm sorry, but when I'm telling you that the report has come out for 2021, that 22 million reports to the cyber tip line out of 29.3, and a woman, Antigone Davis, head of safety, is saying that, you know, we want to be careful who we flag. And in their own corporate panel, and when they're given, you know, instructions, they are told, well, just consider, if you don't know, consider it an adult and move on. Well, Warriors, this is unacceptable. And this is why I need each and every one of you to take action, because numbers count. I'm going to keep telling you that. Each and every one of us has a duty. We don't want your child or your grandchild to be the next victim of any of this extortion online. We know that the kids by the age of 11 have seen pornography online or have been approached online by a stranger. That would be almost 60%. So you can see this is a dire situation. You can see that this is all around us. So do something. Put safety filters, put safety features, talk to your kids, explain to them that, you know, exchanging nude images is not appropriate and can, forget it being appropriate, can lead to this criminal enterprise, which is human trafficking, sextortion. An image moving around online is human trafficking. once it's out there, it's never coming back. So that child, that person will walk around for the rest of their lives. And I have survivors of this talk to me, victims of this, and say, because it's now the internet, that image, they don't know. That image is just out for the rest of their lives. So it's constant, constant trauma. So we're going to be the warriors. We're going to get on top of this. I want to also commend to you an excellent, excellent op-ed piece, opinion piece, but I think it should just be an article, frankly, by our Queen's DA here in New York, Melinda Katz, doing an excellent job, formed the Human Trafficking Court, the first of its kind in New York State, a little over 2 years ago. And DA Melinda Katz put out this piece, Keeping Up the Pressure on Human Trafficking. And warriors, if you follow me, and you, obviously you do if you're listening to this, you should know that raising awareness, talking about it each and every day, is beginning to really open up eyes and bring attention to all of these crimes we talk about with our youth in particular. So we have U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland stating recently he will use every source available to him at the Department of Justice to stop this escalation of human trafficking, which he acknowledges is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the United States and the world. And warriors, that is because it is easier to traffic people. It is easier to get those images online and put them up on the porn sites and make money than to deal with drugs. We know that the number one business now of gangs in the United States is human trafficking, sexual exploitation. So DA Melinda Katz put out an excellent article that in agreement, and how she will be doing in the New York courts. It's a full immersion program. You have to everybody has to be on the same page. And this is the problem that's been going on. Law enforcement has trainings, healthcare professionals have trainings, everybody's having trainings, but there seems to be some sort of disconnect where they're not all on the same page. They're not knowing what the other hand does. So DA Katz is announcing that the strategy that the Attorney General noted, but that she is actually implementing, is a multidisciplinary action, because it's trauma-informed approach in uniting investigators, law enforcement, judges, victim assistance specialists, non-governmental service providers, bringing everybody together. We've got to get on the same page, intervene, and know what to do. And also we have, in the courts, we have to have complete clarification of what all these big tech atrocities mean. And we don't have that right now. So I commend all of you again. That is dated. It's actually dated March 31st. Let me get this correct. This was just sent to me. I found this yesterday. It's actually dated, April 5th. DA Melinda Katz, New York Daily News, Keeping Up the Pressure on Human Trafficking. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on Lynn's Warriors a little bit later on, because it's such an important article that outlines all of the work we want to do at the Warriors, our approach that we're working on, which is a full immersion of everybody. The number one complaint I hear about this constantly is not enough resources, not enough money. Well, Warriors, we have to make it happen. So, always go to lynswarriors.org, donations, sign up to volunteer. We need all of you as we lift out of COVID. I'm here in New York State. We're just really opening up again. I'm able to get out in public and be speaking. So be aware of what's coming up. I have a couple of different events I'll be announcing from New Jersey. Probably by next week, I'll be announcing those actual dates. And keep in mind the May 12th event here in New York, Lifeway Network, Ending Human Trafficking, Reclaiming Lives. LifewayNetwork.org is the website. Go on there, see the invite, see what's happening. I, of course, will be talking about raising everybody up, energizing everybody, become a warrior in your own home and community. Lifeway is true boots on the ground doing God's work. They educate the public, which we all agree, number one thing, and then providing safe housing for survivors of human trafficking, because you need a safe environment in order to thrive when you are traumatized. They have 2 safe houses, and the model is small, but the success rate is 100% over 15 years. Think about that. No exaggeration, 100%. So that is a model that works. That is a model we need to talk about. That is a model we need to expand and create in other communities. This is a model we need to do. And what that is the first thing for a person who's trafficked and psychologically damaged and encumbered. You need a safe environment. You need a nice clean bed to get into, blankets. You need food when you feel like eating. So this is a community, 2 houses, comfortable, safe, where you can learn, where you can be assisted with psychological, medical, employment, job training, educate, all of those things. Okay. And what's so great about Lifeway Network is that most of those survivors, when they move on, become strong survivor leaders, and they come back and they're mentors and they're teachers to other women who have been trafficked. And that's what we want. We want to snowball this whole effect. We cannot allow our children and our women and all people. These are atrocities. I mean, what is going on here? So again, I want everybody to look for these things on linswarriors.org, specifically the DA Melinda Katz and her article about keeping human trafficking front and center. And then I just want to end with one little reminder, warriors, very important. So many platforms, and every platform has predators on it. Remember our motto, wherever the children are, so are the predators. Well, now they're classifying TikTok brain. Okay, it's not bad enough we have TikTok out of China, TikTok brain. And TikTok brain, all of a sudden, all these reports are coming out, studies, and doctors are reporting, because we live in this world where most have the attention span of a gnat. Can you imagine what's going on with children, small, developing brains and teens in this fast-paced TikTok environment where everything's fast and moving, next. And it's coming from watching so many short form videos on TikTok. So come on, warriors. We got to get a hold of the kids and our grandkids. We grew up television, radio, the Sony Walkman, I'm sorry, it went out of my mind for a minute. That was revolutionary when that came out in the early 80s. And these kids now are deluged with all of this fast moving, nonstop, 24 hours a day content. We have kids, we know the internet is addicting. It's an addiction. So you want to know TikTok brain. You don't want your child to have TikTok brain. And what they're doing is they're spending hours watching all of these videos, and it really is affecting their brains. And you know what? We got to start pulling back. I don't care. You pay for those devices, limit your children. First of all, know what they're watching, have the conversation. Always safety features and filters, pins on streaming devices. I always talk about that. But you know what? If you say to your child, and I actually have parents now doing it, you can have 1 hour a day online. Limit the time. I am telling you, as we enter Web 3.0, we're actually really already there. And as we enter the metaverses, this virtual reality that everybody will be traveling in, start it now. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of free information. Make sure you sign up for the Lens Warriors newsletter. A new one went out this morning, and I'll be sending that newsletter out again tomorrow. If you have time, warriors, go to linswarriors.org, scroll down on the right side, e-newsletter right there for the taking. Catch up, know what's happening. Knowledge truly is power. We must intervene. We cannot let the predators win. We cannot let big tech win. Congress is doing a pretty good job in trying to get bills on the floor, such as the Kids Online Safety Act and Earn It Act. But warriors, while all of that red tape is going on and taking time, we have more children, more of our teens, more of all people being abused and used. So we want to take action. So warriors, you've got some homework. I want all of you, linswarriors.org, sign up for the newsletter, start talking to those kids, and I'll be back here soon because I want to talk about a couple of specifics with child abuse and the intersection of what goes on with sex trafficking. And I touched upon it the other day, but I want to go a little bit more into it, knowing that 1 in 3 of our victims are intellectually disabled, and also children that are, victims of child abuse. The trafficker and the child abuser are very similar. It's all about force and coercion and wearing somebody down, trauma. So we'll touch upon that in the next video. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll aim to do that tomorrow. In the meantime, please, everything I recommend, I'm urging all of you, do it. Protect our children today and every day. Community creates change. Go out and be a warrior.